Ben Aris is the founder and editor-in-chief of BNE IntelliNews and also former Moscow bureau chief for the Daily Telegraph. Mr. Aris is now joining us live from Berlin. Mr. Aris, welcome and good to see you. What options does Ukraine have now, looking at the current situation on the ground?
It's stuck in a corner, isn't it? I mean, it remains completely dependent on Western supplies of arms and money, particularly arms. There was a large new package of US support, $61 billion, that was passed in April. However, since then, Zelensky has been complaining that the supply of weapons attached to that package has been very slow. He was speaking at a conference in Kiev at the weekend, and he was complaining very heavily that, he was saying they have 14 new battalions ready, recruited, and he's been able to equip less than 4 of them. And this comes at a time, like as you were reporting, that the pressure on the front line in Donbass, inside Ukraine, the disputed region, is extreme, and the Ukrainians are being pushed back slowly. At the same time, they've got their elite forces inside Russia, in Kursk, and they also need support. And they're just short of everything. The Western policy has been, I'm afraid to say, to supply some, but not enough weapons, and never quickly enough, in order for the Ukrainians to have a chance of turning this war around. And so they're basically left in a defensive position, under bombardment, heavily outgunned by the Russians, and trying to hold their own.
Mr. Aris, what's Russia's strategy with their revenge or retaliation strikes going forward? And to what end is Russia willing to go in the offensive?
I think all the emphasis is on the offensive, that, as I say, that if they can break through in Donbass, there's a particular town, Kursk, key logistical hub. And if they could take that, which is where they're applying most of the pressure, then that disrupts the supply chains for the whole of the Ukrainian defense on the Donbass border. The Kursk incursion has garnered Ukraine a lot of press, a real morale booster for the embattled forces and the population. So that's a win. But militarily, it doesn't bring that much. There were reports over the weekend that Russia's been forced to withdraw some troops from Donbass and go to support the effort in Kursk against the AFU that's battling there, which would be militarily advantageous for Ukraine. But I think the strategy on Putin's side is that they outgun the Ukrainians, they outman the Ukrainians, they've got plenty of money, they can keep this up for a long time, and so they're just going to grind away at Ukrainian defense, which is short of men, short of arms, short of money, and just wait for time to do its worst. And with the winter coming, the fields in Ukraine are about to turn into a sea of mud, and then the snows will come. And that will put even more pressure on the Ukrainian side. And so Putin, I think, time is on his side. And so he's in no particular rush in order to have some sort of decisive victory quickly.
Mr. Aris, finally, talking about that pressure on Ukraine, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is visibly jittery. Do you think the West has let Ukraine down? Very quickly.
I do, absolutely. The beginning of the rhetoric was stand with Ukraine as long as it takes. And now with the new long-range missiles that the Ukraine has been asking for, the ATA CMSs, the White House said explicitly, we're going to send them some, but not anywhere near as many as they want. And the story was the same with the F-16s. They've got 10. They wanted 100 or 200. Same story with the Leopard tanks. They got 30 and they wanted 300 or 400. And I think, the rhetoric has not matched the action, and the Ukrainians have been left in the field to die in a proxy war without the kind of support they need to actually win this war, which is what was promised right in the first month, that we will see you to victory.
Russian affairs expert, Mr. Ben Aris, thank you very much for talking to WION The World is One today. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.